Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We are going to have Dr. Hina Sidhu shortly. She's a Olympian and Arjuna awardee. So we'll have her introduction a little later. I have Mr. Vimal Anand, IRS officer. He's a 2003 IRS officer. He has earlier worked in the income tax department and also finance ministry. He joined the sports ministry last year and is currently handling the Khelo India scheme primarily and also the Fit India program. He's handling the work related to national sports federations and very interestingly, National Sports Education Board, which is being created, and the creation of sports infrastructure all over the country. He has helped in initiating the Khelo India Winter Games in J&K and Ladakh from this year, which is going to be a regular feature in the national annual sports calendar. Mr. Anand, he has a deep passion in cricket and also football. We are going to be joined by Dr. Viswajit Saha. I'll have the introduction a little later. He's a director training and skill education at CBSE. So we are going to hear from him about the Fit India initiative, the Khelo India initiatives, and how that is being incorporated in CBSE schools. We have Dr. V. Vijayalakshmi ma'am. She's the Additional Commissioner Academics. She has been with the Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan for the last 25 years. She joined KVS in 1995 as the education officer, and she has risen through the ranks of KVS and now handles academics for KVS, which is the biggest school chain in India. She is considered to be a person with a scientific temper and aptitude, and she actually applies logical and problem-solving work in her work. He is currently the in charge. Shortly. So I am going to start with a small video and then we'll have the discussion. Is it visible?
Yes, we can see it, Suchit.
Yeah, so when you see this video, so this is to set the context. If you look at this video, this is what every child actually says. He says that he wants to play more. He finds happiness and masti in sports. He wants to touch the stars. He wants to chant छूना चाहते हैं हम खेल जीतना सिखाता है. So all the children they actually learn about winning and how to be competitive. They also talk about friendship and कहते हैं हम नहीं है किसी से कम. So this is from a child's point of view of how he or she perceives sports. So let's look at the other context. This is about the Fit India movement, where we are talking about, as per a WHO report, almost 68% deaths in India are happening due to non-communicable diseases, and the obesity has gone up. So it has gone up 3 times. Almost like 65 to 70% Indians either do not exercise regularly or do not monitor their diets, and 1/3 of the Indians are going to have diabetes. So, and almost 70% of city people are overweight. So we are talking about a lifestyle. We're talking about so let's with that as a context. Today's discussion is about holistic development through sports and also about the career options. So we are going to talk about both the things. So on behalf of on behalf of FICCI Sports Committee, so I would like to welcome all my panelists, Dr. Hina Sidhu, Olympian and former world number one, Sri Bimal Anand, IRS Officer, Director Sports, Dr. Vishwajit Saha, Director Training and Vocation and Skill Education, Vijay Lakshmi Ma'am, Additional Commissioner Academics at Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, that's the biggest school chain in the country, and Dr. Amit Bhalla, Vice President of MREI, and both schools. He runs a chain of schools as well as universities. So with that as a context, welcome all of you, sirs and ma'ams. Now, with that, so let's go back to our childhood. I mean, how as a child, I just wanted to get some context in terms of as a child, what is it that you wanted to do, and what is the kind of environment that you had, whether you wanted to study, whether you wanted to get into sports, what is the role that sports actually played um, in your lives? I'll probably start with Mr. Anand and then go to ma'am and Amit. Mr. Vimal Anand.
Yeah, a very good morning to all of you. It's a privilege to be a part of this discussion on the importance of sports and physical activity in our daily life, as well as making sports into a career option. Come to what Mr. Sujit asked, we all of us in the panel and also many of us in the audience, uh, we come from a certain time when there was a kind of a value judgment attached to getting involved in sports. You know, we were all like, there was a in Hindi, if you say, uh, there was a very common refrain that was by our parents and our elders, that if पढ़ोगे लिखोगे बनोगे नवाब और खेलोगे कूदोगे होगे खराब. But that was that era. But at the moment, due to efforts made by the government as well as the government of India, the various state governments, as well as many organizations who are involved in sports, and the amount of success that our sports persons have achieved at various levels in the country as well as abroad, the perception has changed to a very big extent. And now the government, our ministry is also encouraging the slogan, which is just the opposite of what we were told in our childhood, that अगर खेलोगे कूदोगे तो बनोगे लाजवाब. And the ministry is very proactively working towards implementing towards making it a success through various initiatives like the Khelo India movement, the Fit India movement, and also seeing to it that the budding sports persons of the country, they don't lose track, or they get proper uh, encouragement right from the childhood. Most of us, why did the parents give us such, or the elders or the teachers, even teachers also in the schools, why did they give us this kind of um, discouragement? Because mostly because in those days there were not many opportunities to perform, to participate also, as well as to make sports into a career. Right now, it's already started in the right spirit, and we are as sports administrators in the government, and also with the help of many private players and sports persons also, we are trying to create a kind of an atmosphere in the country where the school children, as well as the budding sports persons who are in the who, who are in the colleges or higher education institutions, they will get an opportunity to pursue sports as well as academics with proper balance. What's been happening in our country is that if you dedicate too much time to your sport, you will lose your focus in academics, or you may drop certain important crucial years in your academic growth, and vice versa also. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to create a kind of a system, and which we are for the time being, which we are calling it the National Sports Education Board. We are trying to come up with a solution so that there's a flexibility in the regular curriculum work, which is the academics as well as sports, so that people don't drop out at a at an early stage. Later on also, I'm going to discuss certain statistics also, which will throw more light on on this subject. I'll hand over the stage to the next.
Yeah, ma'am, I just wanted to put some. Thank you so much, Mr. Anand. Ma'am, what I wanted to say is that when I was a child, I'm just looking at it from a child's point of view and also as a parent's point of view. So we had huge playgrounds. We had good access to sports infrastructure because being an NCRT school, I studied in one before. But one of the major thing, though we wanted to play sports, one of the thing was that parents were like, whether it is my parent or I know there were some talented batchmates, schoolmates of mine who would have actually probably excelled slightly better this thing. But I think parents actually think that academics is probably has a higher weightage than sports. So as a academician, and you are running the largest school chain in this thing, how do you look at this aspect of looking at things from a children's point of view, from a teacher's point of view, and also from a parent's point of view? How do you balance all the three things?
Okay. Thank you, sir. You have actually posed a very valid question. And it has not been a very easy journey, but it has been a successful journey as far as Kendriya Vidyalayas are concerned. As you are aware, Kendriya Vidyalayas, right from their inception, are you able to hear me, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Perfectly.
We have completed more than 55 years of existence by now. We started with 20 schools, and we have really grown in size and stature now. As of now, we have 1,245 schools spread throughout the country, and 3 are located abroad. Now, right from inception, we believed in the holistic development of a child and believed that a sound body houses a sound mind. So we had insisted when we opened the schools that we must have 15 acres of land. Why do we need 15 acres of land if it is only for the building structure? Building structure can be built within 2 acres, maximum 3 acres. But we insisted on more land so that we developed playgrounds. So playing was a integral part of our curricular transaction right from the beginning. So you can see so many sports stalwarts we have produced. Just to name a few, Sri Rajavardhan Rathorji has been a KB student. Mrs. Deepa Malik was a KB student. Jwala Gutta was a KB student. As of now, I can immediately remember these names, but there are so many more. And apart from that, playing was an integral part. See, only few people may excel and reach that height, but we want every child to play and reap the benefits. So that I can see in almost all my students. Like um, a few years back, when I met a senior IS officer who was a KV student himself, he mentioned in a public speech that he was the captain of the football team when he was a KV student, and that has immensely helped him in excelling in academics as well. And I strongly believe in this. So, because as a player myself, I have always felt nowadays there are so many theories of how you can focus, how you can concentrate, and how meditation can help you focusing on things. But when you look back, when I was a player playing badminton or playing any event for that matter, when you do that, nothing else enters the mind. Only that play, only hitting the goal, hitting the ball, that's what is there in the mind. What is that? Not a meditation? I think that is the strongest meditation which anybody can practice. Otherwise you sit and focus, you can't focus, many thoughts disturb you, and it's not so easy to have a thoughtless state. But playing is something which will really help in focus. Once that focus is made, a child can excel academically also. So we have somehow successfully been able to convince our children. Children are already convinced. We've been able to convince our teachers and parents as well. That's how they've been sending, and not only promoting school level sports, but we've been organizing a lot of cluster level, regional level, national level uh, sports. We have identified 22 disciplines, sports disciplines. So children are playing at various levels and coming here. That is encouraging the parents as well. And we have sports quota, and now we have last 4 or 5 years have really seen much more flourish as far as our sports activities are concerned and the performance of students is concerned. We have started a lot of things, like on a very big way we have come out with the slogan, rather project SBSB. It's named SBSB, the acronym, that is Swasth Bharat, Swasth Bacche, Swasth Bharat. So we have started measuring various parameters of fitness of students. All the students, we have more than 13 lakh students, girls and boys with us from class 1 to 12. So these parameters are measured, which will go a long reporting the fitness status of each child to the child as well as the parent, and based on which further improvement can be made by planning the activities accordingly at school level. And also for us to see where our children of a particular age, and I mean a lot of statistical help it will make for us to plan our national level programs. That is one thing we have done. And we have also allowed for flexibility in sports, in the sense children who are more, as you were mentioning, if the children are playing, the parents are worried what will they do in academics and what will they do in their future life. So in order to facilitate, we said children, if they are playing, let us give them more marks in academics also. Let us not discourage by giving less marks or retaining them in the class, same class, in case they are not able to do very well in academic subjects. So we are giving more marks to them. We are giving them over and above class strength admission also in Kendriya Vidyalayas to children who have been doing excelling in sports elsewhere, so that to attract the sports talent to our schools, since we have all the wherewithals here, we have free.
Ma'am, your voice is not audible. Are others able to hear, ma'am?
Jeet, we can't hear.
Ma'am, we cannot hear you, ma'am. Yeah. Ma'am, we cannot hear you. So I will just come back to you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I think you made some very pertinent points in terms of sports actually helping in terms of concentration, in terms of academic performance. You also talked about Swasth Bacche Swasth Bharat, which is an excellent initiative, and I've been part of that program also. It's 45 lakh assessments have been done, just for information of everyone. through Swasth Vacha Swasth Bharat program. So we have Dr. Hina Sidhu. She's a very well-known Olympian. Everyone knows her. Arjuna Awardee, former world number one, and she was a world record holder in shooting with gold medals at Commonwealth Games, Asian Games, and World Cup. In 2014, she became the first Indian pistol shooter to reach the number one in world ranking. Welcome, ma'am, to this panel discussion. Very interestingly, she also has a bachelor's degree in dental surgery. So that's something that I just wanted to highlight in terms of how I wanted to ask a question. And we also have Dr. Vishwajit Saha. He's also with us. Welcome, Dr. Saha. He's a Director of Training and Skill Education. He's an ME Computer Science and PhD in Computer Science and Engineering BTech also. He in CBSE CBSE has taken the lead in the implementation of Khelo India Fit India initiative in schools with the dual objective of building culture of fitness and active lifestyle in school, as well as putting together a scientific roadmap for talent identification, talent nurturing. CBSE has also taken a lot of initiative. I'm going to talk to him. Before that, I want to start with Hina. We wanted to understand about your childhood. What is it that you had? How did your parents actually motivate you to take up shooting? I know that your father was all of us know that your father was a national sport shooter. Your brother does shooting, and also you're married to a shooter. So how is it? How is it at home? How was your childhood at home? And why did you take up shooting and not anything else?
Actually, I get asked this question very often, and the thing is that I don't come from a family who's, very active in shooting. I don't know why everybody thinks that I come from a shooting family. I come from a family who were very passionate about guns. Um, my uncle has business in guns, so he customizes guns. Now he's got a manufacturing license from the government of India. So I grew up around guns. We had nothing to do with, target shooting or the sports shooting. Um, I grew up with this dream that one day I'm going to become a doctor. Very typical, Indian family. The girl is pursuing studies to become doctor, and the son will become an engineer. But I, I had because I grew up around guns. I always wanted to, do something other than study all that day. So I thought, shooting seems to be an easy sport. सिर्फ खड़े रहना है और target पे बस गोली चलाना है. So I picked up shooting thinking it's very easy. तो मेरे को ज़्यादा मेहनत नहीं करना पड़ेगा, and I will also be able to give attention to my studies. So that's how it all started. And my father never actually, stopped. Or when I told him that I want to start shooting, he helped me, and he knew certain people in the Punjab Shooting Federation and asked them, how can we buy for her? She wants to start shooting. So that way, my parents helped me, start the sport. But the decision as such was completely mine. I'm happy that they sort of supported me in the decision, that didn't put me down or tell me, no, you need to, concentrate on studies or anything like that.
So yeah, so you have had a very supportive family, but there are a lot of children who actually are very good in sports, but the parents somehow are not very convinced. So how would you motivate those parents, and what is it? What is the message that you want to give it to the parents?
I think the best way to go about this is, taking an example from Dr. Bhalla and his school and his colleges. And this is something I have been telling everyone even before I
cannot hear. Can you? Can others hear? No?
No, we can't.
Okay. So, yeah, so we will, Hina, I think your video, maybe you can switch off the video so that your audio is clear, because there's a low bandwidth actually.
Okay. Okay. So I was
Yeah.
saying that there are a lot of parents who are intrinsically motivated to put their children in some sports. कि नहीं हमको sports कुछ तो करवाना है. We don't care about the results, but they should be in sports. But such parents are very rare. Then there are certain parents who do not mind sports, but they feel that if the child has a talent, then we will do it. So a school or a college can become a very good platform for children to try different sports, have a very healthy childhood, not just become bookworms. And the parents can also see, that my child has certain talent, and then they can start supporting that child. But everything said and done, there are certain children who are not going to be Maradonas or Sachin Tendulkar, but they also need to do some sort of sports just for mental and physical well-being. So schools can really up the game in this area.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think Dr. Bhatta, I want to come to you. I think what she has talked about is about how to convince the parents. I think a lot comes is based on how school leaders are actually convinced about sports. So I think you are running a chain of schools and also university. I want to hear from you that how do you convince school leaders that sports is a very important aspect. I mean, what she talked about is sports is a very important aspect for personality development. She talked about fitness also. So how do you convince because the school leaders themselves need to be convinced, the physical education teachers also need to do their job. How do you do that?
So thanks, Sujit. My journey for establishing school started 14 years back when we used to design a particular school. We were creating some space for playground and maybe some space for indoor arenas. Then we started evaluating that how do we accommodate students in limited facilities. So as a promoter, if you start investing more in sports facilities in an institution, so it sends a very clear signal down the line that sports is one of the important area which you are seeing or you are focusing on. So that is first step to create and establish. So started creating different indoor outdoor facilities, a high quality infrastructure, followed by good coaches. Once you hire good coaches, then again sends a very good signal that yes, you are serious. So, and we also started creating a curriculum and a program across our schools for sports and well-being. So once you have that curriculum, you have that program, you have that reporting, you have that competitions, you talk about that, whether it is your parent teacher conferences, you talk about in their reports, you talk about their performance, you acknowledge the performance, you give them certificates, you give them scholarships. So all these things help in motivating the parents, help in motivating the teachers, help in motivating the leaders that yes, sports and well-being is an important part of one's growth. So these are few things which we have done in our institutions, and we have been very successful in sending this message. The way you are learning your English, Hindi, science, mathematics, or other subjects, you should have a program and a curriculum on sports and well-being as well. So that seriousness of the promoter is what uh, brings in confidence and brings in interest in the mind of parents.
Yeah, I believe like you have taken a lot of initiative as a promoter to take special interest in both academics and sports. But I believe lot of school leaders themselves need to be very convinced about it. So, what would be a key message from? I mean, how would you do that?
See, if I talk about different promoters, I see sports as one of the catalysts which can establish, which can help us in increasing our GDP. So today, if I start playing a sport, that means I will start consuming the goods. If I start consuming the goods, I need infrastructure. If I need infrastructure, we will have events. If we will have events, you will have sponsors. If you will have sponsors, you will run the economy. So this is one direction which can help us in growing as a nation, which can help us in having a fitter and a positive youth, positive future of the country. So instead of using their energies in some different areas, I still feel that sports is the best way to play. And if you are playing a game with somebody on a play field, you can understand and very well understand the thought process of that individual in that field. So if you are playing how he is accepting his defeat or how gracefully he is accepting his win, that shows his behavior, that shows his entire thought process on the playground, which you can't see on a CV, which you can't see in a meeting room or in a conference room.
Correct. So this question to Hina and also to Vijay Lakshmi ma'am is that how do you balance between education and sports from a child's point of view? Like Vijay Lakshmi ma'am, you also touched upon the flexibilities that you have also created in the school system. So I'll start with Hina because you are a doctor, you are also a shooter. How did you balance your education and sports, and what is the kind of template that you would basically tell schools to follow?
I think time management is very important. When you're a child, I don't think that you need to study for say 8-10 hours a day. It's not healthy. It is important to invest some time outside, go out, play with your friends, do some sports. It's very important to have that balance. And again, it lies with the parents and the school. If there is a very nice curriculum set by the school, if I take my example, in my school till 2 o'clock we used to study, and from 2 to 4 there was just sports time after lunch. So our parents used to come pick us up at 4:30. So there was a specific time allotted for sports. If you have time allotted for sports and if you have time allotted for studies, it gives a very balanced day, a very balanced life to the child. uh, if you keep studying 5-6 hours a day, I'm sure your concentration level drops after 1 or 2 hours. There is no way you can carry on with the same concentration level. Breaks are very important. So sports can become a break from study, and studies can become a break from sports. This is how I managed when I was doing my shooting and studies together. I always felt that when I went to shooting, I felt relaxed and rejuvenated. And after a lot of shooting, when I went back to my books, I saw things better. I could understand things better. So people think that हम इसको time manage कैसे करें because there's not enough time for studies and sports. I feel that both of them help each other. Both of them help in increasing the concentration. Studies help sports and sports help studies. This is a message I want to really put out there to all the parents and everybody, that both of them are complementary. It doesn't matter which sport you do. The blood flow in the body, the happy hormones that the body releases helps in concentration and have a healthier child. So yeah, it's just about time management, and the rest everything will take care of itself.
Absolutely. I think I can't agree more. I think what you said is absolutely true. I think it's about time management and also giving equal priority to both and look at all the benefits and not just sports excellence as an outcome. Fitness and active lifestyle is a key outcome, and also pursue sports pursue in multiple sports, getting exposed to multiple
And I
sports.
would like to say here that in my career, meeting so many sportsmen, I have never come across one who is at top of the sport but is a very bad student. I have always come across sportsmen who are very good at studies also. It's just that they didn't get enough time, but they're sharp. So I've never come across anyone who's not good at academics.
Yeah, I think the other side is also if you look at the top CEOs and MDs of organizations, I mean, all of them they actually are very fit, and they also, I mean, even during COVID-19, you see a lot of them running, walking, doing a lot of physical activity. I think even the brightest of students tend to also prioritize sports. We have Dr. Vishwajit Saha. Vijayalakshmi ma'am, I'll just come back to you. Dr. Saha actually has a very important mandate, and he's doing it so well. In CBSE, personally, he's involved in the Khelo India and Fit India initiatives. And as a head of vocational education and also training, Dr. Saha has been putting together a plan where a training of school teachers, training of principals. So there's a program called Whole School Approach to Fitness, which is part of which the CBSE and Fit India are doing it jointly, where we are looking at physical literacy for the principal or the HM, followed by the PE teacher, so that they are trained on various aspects on how do you set up a Fit India school. Dr. Saha, would you like to share your experience in terms of what CBSE is doing, and also touch upon the 60 minutes of play, the circular which had gone out, and also one PE period per day? There are a few things that CBSE has spearheaded.
Thank you, Sujit ji. I was patiently listening Bimal ji, Amit ji, Hina, then Vijayalakshmi ji, and all practitioners, the way they have presented, and in fact, Hina being a sports personality and also good in academics, proven academic. So all those things showcase that fitness and sports should be integral part of education, and that's what that message CBSE is trying to give to all the parents community. That is more important. And secondly, the teachers, who are the backbone of the systems, because their composition is always important, because students are more dependent on them in their decision making, and especially when they are till class 10. So, and that decision is very important, and what way they are going to take up the sports and fitness activity, that partially depends on parents as well as the teachers. So these two important stakeholders need to be sensitized more and more. And now, of course, that sensitization activities are being done by media, because if we look back to our times, maybe only selective sports are being showcased, and that too also on a selective channel. But now that sports media is again another career opportunity for all. So altogether, CBSE, as we have issued that health and physical educations, that holistic requirement of an individual, and we mandated that 1 hour sports activity. Even in pandemic's time, I have seen a lot of schools virtually trying to gear up the movement and motion of muscles at home. And that is really encouraging for all of us. And so that way, but definitely this year we are facing a challenge, because both in terms of Khelo India activity and other CBSE's internal sports activity, we are not able to organize. But we want to keep their mindset high, so that next year, once the normalcy will be restored, then we want to organize such event, and with a periodic interval. And we want, at this point of time, there are a lot of facility we are trying to give it to the sports personality, those who are appearing for the nation, participating in national and international. So for that, even if the board exams comes in between, so we are going to compensate them. We are going to conduct special exams for them. So that kind of facilities we are going to extend. And similarly, we are requesting the school leader that in between, for other classes, maybe for class 9 or 11, if such student faces problem, then they are supposed to conduct separate assessment and examinations for them. And maybe, as Hina mentioned, that I have seen it in Korea also, right after that academic activities, there are huge ample scope of sports practices, and student in Seoul and other part of South Korea, they retain in the school campus till 8 p.m. Even take the half dinner from the school and then went back. So similarly, as the sports ministry is now geared up to take a lot of things, and I think that message is very much important for the parents and other stakeholders. And here in CBSE also, we are trying to to promote specialized sports schools. And KB JNP in that respect will be the front runner. And here, if any students wants to pursue the sports activity, then sports related subjects and sports science need to be taught so that their automatic performance indicator will be always towards positive sides. Now, with the help of Sports Sector Skills Council, CBSE has launched sports activity trainer at secondary level, and similarly at senior secondary level, physical education and other fitness related courses are very much ongoing. So with that, I believe there are a lot of things to do. I think school owners, school leader, both private entity and government entity, and all sports personality. My humble request to the all eminent sports personality, because it is time for you to give some amount of time, even in virtually, to encourage the young mind. I think through that kind of example, I think peoples over a period of times are going to take the sports joyfully, and they will be fit and active, which our honorable Prime Minister and even the sports minister is aiming to achieve by next few years. Thank you very much. I think it's a wonderful initiative by FICCI, and all members, let us participate, discuss, and give a new height to the sportsmanship spirit in India. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Saha. I mean, a few interesting things that you talked about. One, physical education period per day. That's about 60 minutes of play is what CBSE is encouraging, and also the Fit India School Week, which is an initiative by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, and it has been taken up, embraced by all the school boards, and CBSE has been the leader. Vijay Lakshmi ma'am, I wanted to also congratulate KB, because last year for the Fit India blog run, you had 7.5 lakh teachers, students and parents participating in the Fit India blog run. And that was actually putting everyone together. So it was basically carrying everyone forward. A whole school approach to fitness where parents, teachers and students, all of them participated. So congratulations for that. Wanted to, so as part of the flexibility that you talked about, what are the 2-3 flexibilities that a school should have? If you can quickly say, because we'll just move to another aspect of this discussion.
I think I was mentioning that, I don't know, Panigrahi ji, sometime there was unfortunately an audio issue. Now I'm audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So
I also missed my words also, some of
no problem, ma'am. Just
lot
wanted to
of
hear about the flexibilities.
yeah. We've made a lot of flexibilities inbuilt in the system in the recent past. Like for instance, right from the beginning, we've been encouraging admission of sports children into our schools. We have rather started sports hostels long time back, and we have revived those hostels right now. That is one thing. 5 hostels which are already in place, we have converted them into sports hostels for various disciplines. I hope I'm audible, Pandey ji, the things.
Ma'am, the audio actually, there's a problem. It just keeps.
I think there's some problem. I can see that. I'll make it very quick. I need to go at 11:30. There's a meeting also.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that we have revived our sports hostels, number one, and grooming the children extensively who are now residing in the sports hostel. Unfortunately, nowadays because of COVID, they are closed, but that will continue. That's number one. Number two, we are encouraging sports talent to join Kendriya Vidyalaya so that we can nurture their talent further as long as they are with us. And number three, we have made a lot of facilities for children who are with us while playing, for adding marks to them while considering their promotion from one class to the other, so as to give equal impetus to sports as we give to the academics. This is another thing we have done. So I hope with all these things, there's a boost, and that's already showing in our performance. Our children have been doing very well in the SGFI games. Our medal tally also has improved by leaps and bounds in the past 4 or 5 years. I think this is the effect of all these steps that KBS has been taking.
Right. Thank you so much.
And you, Panigraji, sorry for
No.
the interruption, but I need to go at 11:30. I have a meeting, so
No problem.
I'm logging out. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah, Mr. Vimal Anand, I wanted to check with you. We wanted to understand from you what are the sports. For a lot of people, sports is about becoming a sports person, but that is not necessarily true because in terms of the opportunities in the area of sports, there are huge amount of opportunities. So, would like to hear from you what are the initiatives that the Ministry of Youth Affairs is taking, and also about what are the different options that you see in sports, not necessarily becoming a sports person, but the other things. And also hear from Amit also a little later. From a university, graduation, post-graduation, what are the options which are there? Mr. Vimal Anand, are you?
Yes. Yeah, as a ministry, and which is also enshrined in the Khelo India scheme, our main target is to encourage mass participation of, uh, of the youth of this country in sports, and also to promote excellence in sports. We don't only want people to participate more in sports, but also and that will also act as a base uh, for more and more sports persons to excel at at higher levels, international levels and national levels. So we want more and more people to do uh, very to excel in to do very well, to break records in sports. And for that we have a multi-pronged strategy. Number one is we we are trying to see, some years back we did not have many sports infrastructure which was sponsored by the government in the country. There were certain infrastructure here and there in schools and colleges, and some stadia that were created. But now, as systematically, in a very structured manner, in the last 3 years, I'll tell you, we have sanctioned almost 250, 244 sports infrastructure across the country, and we are in the process of um sanctioning more and more such infrastructure projects all over the country, right from the bigger cities to the rural areas, to the smaller states, to the bigger states also. Second, we also want to encourage more students, more and more school children, more and more younger generation people to take up sports uh, without any insecurity. For that, we are trying to give them scholarships. Almost more than 3,000 people are getting Khelo India scholarships at the moment. We are also, like I told you in the beginning of this session, we are trying to create a kind of a convergence between sports and the curricular studies. Uh, there has been one of the, it's a FICCI statistics that almost more than 60% of the youth, that is a very conservative figure. More than 60% of the youth in the country are interested in sports, but only 1% of that population is actually actively participating in sports. This is not because they are not interested. I've already told you that more than 60% people are actually interested, but it is because of the lack of opportunities, the lack of facilities that we are providing as a society um, to our younger generation. For that, we are trying to create a convergence. We are trying to see, we are all not only the grown-ups, but everybody needs to think about the future, about earning a livelihood. And livelihood is more certainly, connected with what you do, how you perform in academics, what educational degrees you have. Because for certain jobs, for almost every job, you must need at least a, a certain level of education, a degree. what you call it. So for that, you need to do well in to studies also. And if you want to do well in studies, you will have to have uh, at the same time you want to excel in sports also. So you want to have a certain security in your mind that even if I give 6 hours to sports a day, I mean, it's just a, I'm not saying 6 hours, but it's just an example. Even if we give 6 hours a day for it for sports, you have this security in mind that you won't uh, lag behind in terms of achieving a degree, in terms of achieving a certain level of academic excellence. For that, we are trying to give a give a flexibility to the students that so that they can they can properly plan their sports and study life. Also, we are trying to create a kind of a vertical mobility from the earlier stage of schooling to higher education. Further, we also want to encourage uh, various other courses which pertain to sports. So, for example, if 100 students are sports persons or 100 people are into sports, it doesn't mean that all the 100 people will excel at the topmost level. Some people will do better than others. Some people may lag because of so many factors, not necessarily being bad in sports, but they may suffer an injury. They may choose to choose some other. They may choose to take up some other option. They may choose to for certain other family matters or other reasons. They may choose to drop out, but they will always be interested in sports. So what can we provide to them? We can. That's why we, as government, we are very well aware of these situations, and we want to encourage more and more career options which are related to sports, like sports management, sports event management, or sports medicine. And there's so many. There are umpteen number of career opportunities which are related to sports, which need um, proper guidance as well as promotion from not only the government but also from people like you and Dr. Bhalla and various other private bodies which are involved in this sector. It's one it's a for example, I'll give you a FICCI statistics. The demand for people who have expertise in sports management would go up to around almost 7.5 lakhs by 2022 in the next 2 years. In the next 2 years, sports manufacturing will see a demand of of almost 4 lakhs, more than 4 lakhs. Similarly, in sports broadcasting and media, in sports medicine, there's going to be a huge increase in demand in the next few years. So where are these people going to come from? Not those who are into pure academics, who are pursuing science or humanities or commerce or medical profession or engineering. These people, they have already chosen a career. But what about those people who have been from the beginning involved with sports? They also need certain career opportunities. So we are trying to give them provide a pathway to them, a career pathway. So, and we think that NACB, the National Sports Education Board, is going to be a big step towards such a development. And it won't mean that the school it will function separately from the existing education boards. It will both all the boards, the education boards as well as the Sports Education Board would function together for providing opportunities and also for providing paving up a fertile ground for more and more youngsters to take up sports, not only as a career option, but also as a stepping stone towards making a future in career development in areas related to sports. So let's hope by mid of next year we are hopeful that this board will be set up in one form or the other. We are still deliberating on that and what form is it actually going to come. But we are moving in the right direction, and there is a high-powered committee which is looking into the various aspects of this sports education board, and we are very optimistic that more and more sports persons like Hina will take up sports right from a very early stage in their life, and without thinking much about what is in store for them in future, because we will provide them a basic sense of security, which will help them in excelling in sports.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think you touched upon so many important aspects and also talked about the careers in sports. You talked about the FICCI study also, which has talks about 43 lakh as a demand for different careers in sports technology, sports science, sports medicine, broadcasting, media, whole range of things. We are short of time, so I just want to, Hina, if you could summarize today's discussion and your parting remarks in maybe 30 seconds. And Dr. Bhalla, I would then ask you to do the closing remarks as a co-chair of FICCI for Sports. Hina. Hina, can you hear us?
So I think the biggest takeaway is how, first of all, we can integrate together, and not just that, make sports an important part of any child's childhood. And the way to do it is make it accessible to
Okay.
as many number of children as possible, and make it accessible to the parents also to see how their child is doing. So I think that would be our takeaway.
Okay. Thank you so much. Amit, we have a minute, so if you could summarize.
So I would just like to thank everyone and like to work with all of you together on this platform of FICCI, where sportsmen, administrators, educationists, manufacturers, all of us can work together in building our country as a sporting nation. And we'll hope to see you soon again on our FICCI platform soon.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Mr. Vimalanand. Thank you, Dr. Hina Sidhu, Dr. Vishwajit Saha, Vijay Lakshmi ma'am, Dr. Amit Bhalla. Thank you so much. I just want to, so we actually talked about every aspect of sports in a holistic development of a child. We talked about some of the challenges and how we can inspire parents, schools, school leaders, and also build an ecosystem where fitness and active lifestyle and sports pursuit becomes part of everyone's life. So thank you so much. Thanks for the lovely audience. Thank you so much.